बहुत सारे स्कूल का नाम सुना होगा, नैनीताल में भी बहुत सारे उस तरह के स्कूल है जहां बचपन से ही कवि सम्मेलन क्या होता है, डिबेट क्या होता है। हम लोग कवि सम्मेलन भी कर लेंगे, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, और आप सिर्फ बेस्ट करें, हम लोग करने के लिए तैयार हैं। आपको अपने एजुकेशन के लिए कुछ ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है कि हम क्या करें, इसके आगे क्या करें। सब कुछ आप छोड़ दें। सीबीएसई फैमिली का नाम है आपको अच्छे दिन और अच्छा समय लाने का। बस आपको तो मेहनत करना होगा, नहीं तो यहाँ क्या दुनिया के किसी कोने में चल जाए, अगर मेहनत नहीं करेंगे तो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है। कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है, आपको मेहनत करना पड़ेगा। फिर वही बात, पुरानी बात बता देते हैं, गाड़ी कितनी भी महंगी हो चलाना पड़ेगा। आपने कहते हैं ना 1500 सीसी की गाड़ी है, 4000 सीसी की गाड़ी है, यानी पावर की बात करते हैं। गाड़ी जब हम लेके रोड पे चलते हैं तो उसमें पावर कितना है, स्पीड कितना है। फरारी बहुत तेज भागती है, उससे कम मर्सिडीज, उससे कम और भी गाड़ियां भागती हैं, आल्टो सबसे स्लो भागती है। लेकिन गाड़ी के ऊपर निर्भर नहीं करता है, मैं बता देता हूं, गाड़ी चलाने वाले के ऊपर निर्भर करता है कि उस गाड़ी को वो कैसे ड्राइव कर रहा है। नहीं तो फरारी को भी एक ट्रैक्टर बैकअप पीछा कर लेगा। तो बिल्कुल उसी तरह से जैसे गाड़ी को चलाने वाले के ऊपर निर्भर है कि उसकी स्पीड क्या है, आप चलाओगे नहीं तो वो भागेगी नहीं, उसके सारे पावर रखे रहेंगे। वैसे ही आपका शिक्षा है, आपको अपना फुल एफर्ट लगाना होगा, फुल एफर्ट। थोड़ा सा हमने ट्रैक को बदला और हिंदी का भी सर हमसे कह रहे थे कि स्तर बहुत ही गिर गया, ऑब्जेक्टिव से सब्जेक्टिव की तरफ आ गए। आपके सामने कल रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, तो आप अपना एफर्ट लगाएं और काम करें। चलते हैं, हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं और टाइम वेस्ट ना करें। साहिल जमाल पहले आप बोले इससे।
तो हम लोग का our topic is adversity brings out best in man. So as we know, William Shakespeare, the great Dion, that great Dion of English literature, wrote this lovely line way back in 16th century, about 400 years ago, when it crossed the dramatic mind. Who does not want to be rich, and who does not want to enroll in wealth and move in air conditioner car and enjoy the luxury of life? As we know, man by nature is a selfish and he is learning creature. For example, the poor fellow was living life in the Garden of Eden, with the full of ease and blessedness. And when the cruelty of God pulled him down, then he had to come down and face the mighty challenge of life. Um, Face the mighty challenge of life, and he does not he does not know how to do it. But in the adverse circumstance, he planned and taught him uh, to face the challenge, and he struggled with those problems, and with his heroic struggle against the adversity, he changed the fate of universe by coming out from the forest and land on the moon, and this all could be possible. This all could be possible uh, by the uh, by the blessing of prosperity and progress. Uh, we know that adversity is giving the adversity brings out best in man and develop his abilities, and develop its abilities, and uh, develop its abilities. As we take the human history have many examples, and several men born in this whole world, and they got up in the school of adversity. There is only one person who is poor, and that is Lal Bahadur Shastri. He brought up from the poor family, but poverty saw his greatness, and he became the prime minister of this great country. So, as we know, Things which are hard to bear are sweet to remember, and the great man always show his greatness by showing, and a great man always show his greatness by the way he treats the little one. Thank you.
Prince,
Good evening to all of you. Today's topic is adversity being best in men. Adversity. Adversity means difficulties, hard time of your life, and life is a journey of joy that has many obstacles. Adversity brings all the qualities of the man. It makes patient. Therefore, adversity is better than prosperity. They They teach you very much things. The history of the world is the story of survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. If who fought with the adverse circumstances to get a great victory on it. Some people foolishly believe that wealth can solve all the problems, but it is not correct. Suppose a man who is very rich buys a best pen, but can he buy a good handwriting? A ugly woman buy many of cosmetics, but can she buy a really good real beauty? This is not possible. The qualities of your head, hand, and heart only visible in the adverse circumstances. Prosperity makes a person weak. Uh, few decade before, if we have some question, then we search in the books, and now we search on the mobile and quickly get an answer. This is not a good thing. This makes our brain power low. When we read the book, our knowledge is also increased, and when we search on the phone, then like that copy and paste. Prosperity makes a person weak also. Adversity brings best men. This is not totally correct. It depends upon a person's of willpower. If a person faces adverse circumstances, then they have two options. If they stand up and stay down. If they stand up, then its willpower is also high. They can achieve its goal because its willpower is high. We have many examples. We have many great examples that person who faces adverse circumstances and now become a very great personality in the world. For example, Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi. He was in Gujarat in a very poor family. His childhood His childhood is in very poor. In his family, no one is educated. No one is educated. In the youth time, he become a social worker. After some time, a minister. After some time, he become a chief minister, and now he is the prime minister of India and great personality. And poverty also bring. He is the Prime Minister of India and he is also great personality. And poverty also makes a person weak. For example, Shah Rukh Khan, he is facing adverse circumstances in his childhood and he now become a world's best actor. But his son, who faces very prosperous condition. He has all of things, but few months ago, you all have listened that he he is in jail. Is in jail. It is the effect of prosperity, and adversity gives the taste of life that you can never forget. Thank you.
डिबेट का जो नियम है उस सभी को पालन करना होगा। किसी तरह का किसी के पास कोई कागज लिखा होगा किसी तरह का नहीं मिलना चाहिए, किसी तरह का नहीं मिलना चाहिए। अगर इस तरह का होगा तो उसको बिल्कुल डिबेट से हमेशा के लिए निकाल दिया जाएगा। इसको ध्यान में रखेंगे, नियम को पालन करेंगे। प्रतिभा सिंह आप बोलिए।
The real growth depends on spiritually, emotionally, and specifically when the real growth depends on spiritually, especially and basically when a person is the real growth depends when the real growth depends spiritually, emotionally, and mentally when a person knocked down, then they have some experience of knockdown, and there the growth takes place, and there the growth takes place when they knock down, and and adversity bring out the best in man. This is totally true because as we see as we see as we see that success didn't come inheritance. A individual can achieve the success because success didn't come inheritance. As we see the example of Ronaldo and our prime minister of and the prime minister of our country Narendra Modi. As earlier he was a tea seller, and from a tea seller he became the prime minister. He was a tea seller, and from a tea seller he became the prime minister of our country. This journey is too much. This journey is one of the best examples that adversity is not a loss; it's an opportunity to bring something good. As our prime minister do as a tea seller can do this much of things that he become a prime minister of country, then why we not? We also can do and we also can do. Adversity is not a loss. Means this is not a disopportunity, but this is a opportunity to do something. Because when you are adverse, when are you poor, then there is no option to do great. Then there is no option to do anything else about to focus in your success because when you are poor or adverse, then there are not many options because you should have to overcome of are poor or adverse, then there are not many options because you should have to overcome of adversity, and a person bring out adversity of his own because person bring out adversity of his own because adversity make a man powerful, make him experienceful, and also that man has some experience to share about his adversity.
सोने बोलेंगे।
Today our topic is that adversity brings out the best in man. All the people want to live freely and they want to move away in a facilities car and luxury of their life. Luxury of their life. From adversity brings out according to the situation and it learns us many things. Like when nature first come in our earth, which sent by the God, then he struggle and faces many problems. Then it become in a forest, which changes the face of our country. Forest, which changes the face of our country, which changes the face of our country, which changes the face of our country, and it became in a big forest. Like this, we take by example that a person dig in pond. he have only two options. If he want that he live from the water, then he do swim. Otherwise, he die by sinking. So here, adversity brings out in the form of activities. In that situation, the person who do activity which is based according to their situation, and also a boy which belongs to the poor family and a boy which belongs to the rich family. We all know that the rich boy has many options and they can't do their study with serious. But the boy which belongs to the poor family who know about the importance of each coin and also know that how their parents earn money for him. So that type of child doing hard work as well as smart work, and it get become success in their life. Like this, adversity brings out the best in our life and it learns us. Like this, it also seen in the pandemic of 2019 and us many things. Like this, it also seen in the pandemic of 2019 and 20. COVID-19. In this COVID-19. In this pandemic, whole people and communities weeping then the scientists research on this virus to how it deleted from our life. Then finally he discovered a vaccine which prevent all the people from this pandemic. It from this pandemic. Like adversity brings out here according to situations. So it learns us many things for our life. That's the thing.
Ritika ji, Ritika.
Adversity brings out best in man. This is our topic. Now I am going to tell about it. Adversity, it is the situation of our life that turns a thing from impossible to possible. As we would hear many real life incidents that are the best example for proving that adversity is the reason for changing the fate of person. Uh, we know that adversity brings out best in man. Like adversity, we know that adversity brings out best in man. Like adversity boosts our confidence level. Adversity helps us to adversity helps us to get our inner qualities, to know about inner qualities. Adversity is necessary to know about the necessity of life. Adversity tells us many things and it's develop our inner qualities. Adversity is a bad or unfavorable condition of our life. Adversity in our life makes us stronger and it tells to play a game of our life as a real fighter. Adversity is makes us so much confident and it is the way from which we becomes more stronger. It do a positive from which we becomes more stronger. It do a positive impact on our life. Adversity is not only a small word that it seems. Adversity means a huge thing that was brought in many person's life and it changed it makes a person more courageous. It inspires us, motivates us. A person in which who attaining great heights in their life despite adversity, it increases us. Some poor and some full people think like wealth is only a thing that is the solution of all problems. Like if we bought a pen, the pen by our wealth, it improve our writing. But it's not possible to improve our writing by a best pen. Like if a ugly woman who is so rich and bought best cosmetics which with their money, it is possible to get real beauty by it. No, it is not possible. Like this, adversity, only the adversity is alone our fate, which keeps us struggling and we attain the qualities by adversity. Some examples of adversity like Lal Bahadur Shastri, who is born in very poor family. First he got in adversity school. Then adversity and poverty brings out the greatness uh, in it, and he becomes the Prime Minister of our country. APJ Abdul Kalam is also a similar story. So we can say that adversity brings out best in man. Thank you and have a nice day.
Sorry, Singh. Sorry, Singh.
Our, our topic is adversity brings out best in the man. As we know that the adversity is which condition time period in which the bad condition we face in our life. So normally we can say that adversity is that in which time we faces many problems. For example, economically, physically, or mentally, yeah, emotionally. But if anyone say that adversity brings a man failure, that there is biggest lie in the world. Because, for example, in 2014 UPSC results, the topper is Ira Singhal, who is handicapped. Then who say that adversity can bring out man failure? Then the Ira Singhal is a handicap, and she also teaches many inspirational things that no one can bring out failure in life. And by birth, she is facing very problems because she is handicapped. And with handicap, she becomes the topper of UPSC in our India. And we all know that UPSC is the toughest exam in our India. Then no one can give reason behind its failure that their physical had made their failure in life. And also in many's life, adversities bring out the man in best. That also in many's life, adversities bring out the man in best. That people faces many problems. If people face the problem and defeat the problem, then they get many that they had many learned from this. If they loses their hope to win upon the adversity, then we can say that they do not attempted the question. But if he faced the question, then we can say that at least he must try it. Because if someone try, then he will get lose or win. But as we know in our daily life that no one can get gain without any pain. That's also very much true because in many life all person do their hard work and laborious work to achieve their success. But if we will lose our hope because of adverse condition in our life, then already will say that we have not at least tried for win. Thank you.
Sabir, go ahead.
First of all, we will know that what does the word adversity mean. So, adversity is the state of continuous difficulties or facing problems. It could come in every person's life in the form of failure, loss in business, poverty, etc. Every person have to face adversity in their life before the success. We hear many stories about that the son of a rickshaw puller or a son of a fruit vendor become an IAS officer. Then we think that how he become an IAS officer in the adverse condition of his family. Then at that instant we his family. Then at that instant we got the answer also. We think we got the answer is that he must do hard work in their study and struggle, and he also knows the value of the money which was sent by his father for his learning. By this we learn that we can do anything in the adverse condition also. but for this we have to faith and focus and faith on ourselves. The second thing of adversity is failure. Don't fear from failure. Remember one thing: don't fear from failure. Accept it. It will taught you many things. It is also a part of adversity. Failure is the first step of success also. That without failure, the success is worthless. We also hear that failure is the key of success. Without failure, we can't learn new things in our life. So, and we also hear about many personalities that how he become rich and wealthy in their life. Then we find in that there is an adversity which helped him to become rich and wealthy in the society. Yesterday I was reading. Then I read an article. A person who
Because he don't want to prove his faith. Same thing that postmaster give him money, not the God.
Shaurya, why he signed the God and why he sent money?
In a story, we see that Lencho have a blind faith in God. As we know that after the hailstorm, Lencho had remembered God, that God never do any misbehave or injustice with any his prayer. And also when Lencho has get 70 pesos, he also think that there is no mistake of God. He think that the postmaster had stolen the rest of money. That's why I say that Lencho. That's why postmaster had not break the faith of Lencho in God. That's why postmaster had given 70 pesos. And also in story is told that postmaster is unable to collect 100 pesos. That's why he had taken help of many employees. And 70 pesos is given to Lencho.
Sai Jamal, why postmaster signed on the envelope God?
He signed because when he read the letter of Lencho, then he laughed, and then after he became serious, and he impressed by saying that much faith he has on God, and definitely he don't want to break the faith of God on him. So he requested from their employees and friends to get the money, and he gave some part of his share of salary, and he collect more than half, 70 pesos, and in the last he wrote God, because he does not know that that anyone other help him beside of God, so he does not want to break his faith.
Okay. The postmaster want to make believe Lencho that this money has been sent by the God, so that he signed on the envelope the God. This was the only one answer. Okay, अगला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. Did Lencho try to find out who had sent the money to him? Why or why not? Listen once again. Did Lencho try to find out who had sent the money to him? क्या लेंचो जानने की कोशिश करता है कि पैसा किसने उसको भेजा? अगर जानने की कोशिश करता है तो क्यों, और नहीं करता है तो भी क्यों नहीं? Why not? आपको दोनों में जो भी पसंद है उसका आंसर दीजिए. ठीक है? Okay, Prince, start.
Lencho was not surprised to get money because he believed that no one other than God will send money or help him. He believed in God, that only only God would help him.
He has firm belief that only God would help him. So he did not suspect that none other than the God would do this. Okay, right answer. अगले क्वेश्चन has taken the situation. और भी है. Remember that the irony of situation is an expected aspect of it. An ironic situation is strange or amusing because it is the opposite of what is expected. Question is ये कह रहा है कि लेंचो किसको सोचता है, किसको दोषी ठहराता है जिसने उसके पैसा ले लिया. ठीक है. और इस सिचुएशन में एक आयरनिकल सिचुएशन भी है. आयरनिकल वो होता है कि जो रियलिटी कुछ और होती है, आप कुछ और.
He suspected that those people who help him, that they get the rest of money.
प्रतिभा.
The Lencho think that the post officer or the post employees take the money, but in reality they give money to him, not steal his money. This is the ironic condition that he thinks that Lencho think that post office employees take the money, but in reality they give money to Lencho. They help him, not steal their money.
Fatima. In the real world, what kind of a person would you say he is? Next question है ये. You may select appropriate words from the box to answer the question. Greedy, ये word है. Greedy, native, stupid, ungraceful, selfish, comical, unquestioning. So question is, are there people like Lencho in the real world? What kind of a people would you say Lencho is or he is? Who would answer this question? Okay, Sahid Jamal.
In this time we can say Lencho is a naive but not stupid because he has firm faith in the God that only in this bad situation God will help him, but not stupid because he get only 70 pesos and he become angry. So
No. Listen. Question is asking, are there people like Lencho in the real world? क्या वास्तविक दुनिया में लेंचो जैसे लोग हैं या नहीं है आपको? You have to answer this question.
yes.
Come to the point.
So then we can, in this time we say those people as naive but not stupid.
What kind of a person would you say Lencho is? Sahid Jamal.
Naive person.
Ritika.
We can say that type of persons are naive and comical but not stupid. They are not greedy and selfish because they only need money that is necessary to them. They do not demand much more than it. Like Lencho, he only demand for 100 pesos which is necessary to sow his field again, not demand for more money. He can sow his selfishness and he can demand for more money, but he cannot do like this. Their attitude is unquestioning because they have belief in God and their extreme power of God.
Okay. The question is also asking, are there people like Lencho in the real world? हम तो इसकी स्टोरी पढ़ रहे हैं ना.
Yes, there are many people like Lencho in the real world who have blind faith in God and their extreme power of God.
Shaurya.
Yes, sir. I think that in the real life there is also Lenchos like people.
People like Lencho.
Yes, sir. Full of faith, blind faith in God and believe that God will never ever lose their hope. And for Lencho, I think the naive and corrential word is suitable because he is not greedy and stupid.
Okay. there are two kinds of conflict in the story. Conflict मतलब विरोधाभास, एक के opposite में बिल्कुल दूसरी स्टोरी चलती है. Between humans and nature, and between human themselves. एक जगह आपको human और nature के बीच कहीं-कहीं confliction देखने को मिलता है. But in this story, between human, मनुष्य और मनुष्य के बीच ही confliction. How are this conflict illustrated? इस confliction को किस तरह से स्टोरी में कैसे बताया गया? You have to answer the question. There is a confliction in this story, and how that situation is illustrated in this story. Who would like to answer this? So,
In the story, the conflict between human and nature is that the Lancho hope for the rain, and then rain first got into the hailstorm and destroyed their crop. Here, this situation that prove that the conflict between human and nature, and the conflict between human themselves is the rest of the money is taken by the employees of the post office.
is that true?
Yes, sir.
Is that true that the rest of the money has been taken by the employees?
According to hope of Lancho.
According to Lencho, that has been. But what is the real situation? What is the reality? सत्य क्या है ये बताइए. प्रतिभा.
In reality, the post employers give the money to Lancho, not steal the money.
The real situation is that where the person, the post office employees are themselves who had helped Lenchos, not God. यही सही है ना? यहाँ पे the confliction between human and human is that Lencho thinks about post office employees that they have theft my rest of 30 pesos, while they have actually helped Lencho, because where is the address of God? Or God पैसा भेजेगा लिफाफे में? That is not also possible. So you have to say you have to answer these two ironical situations in the answer of question. The question is, where was the house of Lencho was located? Short. Prince.
The house of Lencho was located on the top of the hill. He was alone at the top of the hill.
What is the meaning of crest? Prince. The Lencho house was located on the crest of a low hill. So what is the meaning of crest? Vidika?
The meaning of crest is the top of a low hill.
Top of the low hill. Crest means top. You have also to remember that, because that is also in this story. This is also in your book. You have to mind on that. In the morning, Lencho sees huge mountain of cloud could be seen approaching in the northeast. What he is expecting for? Fatima.
He is expecting for a good rain for his cornfield and hoping for good earning and good cultivation.
Why he was expecting for a good rain?
He was expecting for a good rain because there was cloud and it is it will probably comes out in the form of water.
He has sowed his field a cornfield, and that was needed a light shower. So he was expecting, after seeing the mountains of cloud, that today there will be rain. Lencho went out to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. Why he is doing so? Ritika.
He is doing so when the rain was coming and was fell on his crops. He go and want to feel that raindrops and after feel and said these raindrops are new coins. The bigger raindrop is 10 cents and the small drops are 5 cents. If the rain is good, then the crop harvest is good and he get a good profit.
Okay, right answer. Who was Lencho? What were his main problems? Who was Lencho? What were his main problems? Main problem आपको after the hailstorm बतानी है. Sahid Jamal.
Lencho was a farmer and a hard-working farmer, and after the hailstorm, he thought that he thinking that this year will be going with the hunger. So he have only the faith on God that God will see. God is seeing everything, and He will definitely help him. So he demanded 100 pesos and write the letter to God.
Okay, right answer. Second question is, what did Lencho compare the raindrops to? What did Lencho compare the raindrops to and why? Shaurya.
The Lencho compared the drops of rain to the coins because he thought that a good rain can make a good harvest, which is very much profitable to him.
Okay, right answer. This is the perfect answer. So there should be no another question. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Why did Lencho write a letter to God? Sadiq Jamal.
Lencho write a letter to God because he was in the problem after the hailstorm. His field looks like as if covered with salt. Then for help he wrote a letter to God and demanding for 100 pesos.
There is another reason for demanding 100 pesos also. Can anyone answer this? Shaurya.
Lencho was demanding 100 pesos because he thought that without money his family will starve, and the main problem is bad harvest.
Fatima. This answer is incomplete. So can you complete this answer?
Sir, again question.
Question is, Lencho write a letter and demand 100 pesos. Why demand 100 pesos from God?
Because he want to fulfill the destruction made by the nature.
Pratibha.
He demands 100 pesos because without the money, his family will die from hunger.
There is something apart from this, and I want to know that. बताओ Prince.
Lencho demanding for 100 pesos because in 100 pesos his next whole day will spend, and in another season he also get seeds for sowing.
In order to sow his field again, he also need 100 pesos. Not only to live he and his family. फिर से खेत की बुआई भी करनी है. This is the perfect answer. How much money did Lencho need? How much did he get? Sohail,
Lanchos need 100 pesos, but he get only 70 pesos.
70?
Pesos.
Okay. The next question is how and why and how did the postmaster help Lencho? Pratibha.
Postmaster helped Lencho by giving him 70 pesos.
क्यों? Why?
Because he don't want to broke the belief or trust of Lencho from the God.
Okay. Do you think that Lencho was right to call the post office employees a bunch of crooks? Why or why not? Sahid Jamal.
No, he's not. He's wrong because in the bad situation, postmaster requested his friend and employees to collect the money and help him. But Lencho think that the rest of money, 30 pesos, were stolen by the post office. So that's why he called them bunch of crooks.
Okay. Right answer. Why did Lencho not want the money to be sent through mail when Lencho write second times letter to God? He asked from God that this time God should not send money through mail. Vedika.
He wants that because in first time when he wants 100 pesos, he get only 70 pesos, and he think that 30 pesos was stolen by postmaster and their employees. So he wants that another time it was not sent by envelope letter and sale. So it was not stolen by bunch of crooks that postmaster and employees. The money was saved by them and directly the money get by the Lencho.
Okay. Next question is, did the letter reach God? Why did the postmaster send a reply to Lencho? Okay, Prince, answer this question.
No, this letter was not reached to the God, but postmaster replied him as a God because he did not want to broken his faith on the God.
Okay. So this first lesson is completed. Take rest and drink some water. After that I am beginning the next chapter. Next lesson is dust of snow, and the first question is, what is the dust of snow? What does the poet say has changed his mood? How has the poet's mood changed? Sahid Jamal.
Dust of snow is a small shower of snow. It falls because there is a crow over the branch of hemlock tree, and the crow shoot, then the snow fall on him, and the poet mood changed from from depression to the happiness, and he enjoyed the rest of his day.
Okay, perfect answer. Second question is, how does Frost present nature in the poem? The following question may be help you think of an answer. First, what are the birds that are usually named in poem? Do you think crow is often mentioned in the poem? What images come to your mind when you think of a crow? Second is, again, what is a hemlock tree? First, listen the question. Question roll number. Why does not the poet write about more beautiful trees such as maple or oak or a pine? Okay. Third is, what do the crow and hemlock represent? Joy or sorrow? What does the dust of snow that the crow shakes off a hemlock tree stand from? The question is, how does Robert Frost present nature in this poem? Ritika.
Robert Frost saw the nature like hemlock tree and crow, which is known for bad omen, for negativity, but he presents this as a positive way. He tells that this is the part of nature which changes mood and gives a positive change. The things that we know, the for bad omen, crow and hemlock tree, it also gives positive change in our life. Every part of nature gives positive change in our life, and the small things can change our life. It means.
What poet want to break off in the society?
The poet want to break the blind faith that the crow and the hemlock tree was for bad, for fear, scared, and for die. It is bad omen. He want to break this thought and so that it is also for a positive thing.
Sahid Jamal.
Poet says that he want to say that everything that present in nature is good for everyone, and it is ugly or beautiful, it is always give it good perspective. And the first question, normally the birds name used in the poems are nightingale and etc.
Why does poet use hemlock and crow in this poem? Fatima.
The poet used hemlock and crow in this poem because in mostly poems the poet used birds like peacock, cuckoo for their qualities and beauties. But in this poem, Robert Frost had taken crow, and which is considered as a bad omen. But Robert Frost has shown it as a sign of positiveness. Same with hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a plant, poisonous plant with white flower, but here which is also considered to be a bad omen. But here Robert Frost has shown it in a positive way.
Okay. The poet wants to break the superstition of the society that crow and hemlock tree is a bad omen for our society. People generally faith like that. So he uses crow and hemlock tree. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. Have there been times when you felt depressed and hopeless? This is the personal question. So all of you have to answer it of this question. Have there been times when you felt depressed and hopeless? Have you experienced a similar moment that changed your mood that day? Sai Jamal.
Yes, I depressed many times, and let's take
One any particular day, you have to answer one incident of a particular day when your mood was upset.
I depressed because of someone behave as a attitude and change his personality and means their
What was the reason of your depression on that particular day?
means I depressed because anyone means the person say in the bad manner and there is an incident which happened. I am walking on the street and then I enter the park and I sit over there. Then I see a handicapped child playing with his friends and he enjoying the life without having the legs. And then I feel happy because even he did not have the legs, he is also enjoying the life, and I also joined him and make my rest day good.
How your mood was changed?
By seeing the child who is playing with the friends who have handicap.
Ritika?
One day in the morning, it is a summer days, I asked for my father to give me a bicycle. He ignored me and he was busy in his work and it strictly said some bad words to me and said to get out from here. So my mood get off and from that evening I go in the park for walking. At the park I sat on the bench where I see that the sun was get covered by the clouds and the nature becomes so beautiful. The light wind blows so beautiful, so cold, and it's changed my mood. My mood is get happiness. I saw there some beautiful flowers. That was now new flowers was come up in the plants that look so beautiful. That changed my mood, and I thought that I lose my some time in bad mood. Now I have to save my time, and I go to home happily.
Fatima?
I had also experienced such incidents. One day when I was depressed because somebody has talked with me rudely, then I went on the roof. The weather was pleasant and cool. Then I interacted with nature. It was so beautiful and very comfortable. I feel relaxed and refreshed. Then my mood changed.
Pratibha, your personal incident when you felt depressed and after some time when any incident took place that changed your depressed mood into happy mood.
I also have suffered from this incidents when I am too much depressed because of my bad marks I got in my examination, which I don't have to get because I read it very well, but I get very less marks in that. And on that day, there is too much depression for me because I have just practiced too much for that. And in the evening time when I am going to home, then the weather is also not good. There are too much cloud. It's being too rain. And suddenly I saw a cat. There is a typical thinking in our society that if a cat cross the road, then your resistance should be bad or something bad is going to happen. This typical thinking is there. But when I see a cat, then suddenly my mood is changed on that time.
So cat change your mood. While it is notorious in our society that when you are coming out of your home and a cat who cross the road, that is a bad omen for our society. People think it's a bad omen. कहते वहां से लौट जाओ आगे ना जाओ. Okay. Prince, your personal experience.
Yes, yes. In the cricket match, in the practice cricket match, I had out on the zero. A person has a player has take my catch. In the same match, in the last, I have also taken the catch of the same person at 0 runs. And then in this, my depression mood is also become happy. And when I was out at 0, I am depressed. And when I was taking a catch of the same person, then my mood is changed into happiness.
Okay. Shaurya, your personal experience.
I have also experienced same because in earlier time when I was going to play football with my friends, then in night there is a rain. Due to this, our ground is very dirty and full of mud. Then we have decided to go back our home and do not play that day. But after sometime the rain started. When the rain started, we are wet. So we have decided to play in this nature, and we decided to play in the rain, and we have enjoyed a lot because of the nature.
Sadiq Jamal.
I have also experienced same type of situation. When I was in like class 8 or 7, then I was
Class 8 or 7?
7 or 8. I don't remember the class.
It should be class 7 or 8.
Then I was gone to my tuition, and the tuition teacher gave me a mathematics question. Then that question I can't able to solve. Then the teacher sarcased on me and humiliate me that what are you doing? This is a simple question. How you can not do this question? Then I feel some depression because that is a simple question. Now I have realized that is a simple question. Then I go to home and said after my grandfather, he was alive at that time. Then after seeing me, he asked me what happened with you. Why are you depressed? Then I told the whole story. Then my grandfather give me some like hosla
Advice.
that you don't feel depressed. This type of situation will come in your life many times. This is not the first time. You have to face all the situation like this in your life. So be strong.
Okay. When you are trying to frame a hypothetical scene like this, because this is totally a personal question, every answer should be different from each other. There should be no similarity between Prince and Sadiq Jamal, because this is totally a personal question, and you have to make, you have to frame a hypothetical scene. You have to remember, you have to memorize what happened with me, such like that. So, अगर कोई झूठ भी है तो that should be in confidence. यहाँ पे आपको 7 or 8 कोई एक डेट होना चाहिए, one particular date, one particular class. You can't write both 7 or 8. 7 or 8 में तो हुआ. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, Sohail, your personal experience.
I have also experienced that one day all my friends together go fearing on to talk with my father, and then consult and send me and told me that you also go with your friend on to. Then my mind was changed.
Okay. Next question is, what does the poet Robert Frost want to convey through the poem Dust of Snow? What does the poet Robert Frost want to convey through the poem Dust of Snow? Who will answer? Fatima?
The poet in the poem want to show the healing power of the nature, and in this poem he want to convey the message that even a little thing can make a major change. Like what happened with him, just a very little dust of snow fall on him, and his moods from the whole day have changed. And he also want to convey that we should not describe anything natural thing as a negative sign, like crow and hemlock tree. He said that everything in nature is beautiful. This makes the poet different from other poets.
Okay. Right answer. How has the poet observed nature in the poem Dust of Snow? Dust of Snow में poet nature में क्या देखता है? What he sees? How has the poets observed? Ritika.
Nature, Robert Frost absorbs the nature that nature has a super healing power which gives us a positive impact on our life. Can I say again?
How has the poet observed nature in the poem Dust of Snow?
In Dust of Snow, poet absorbed that the nature has a super healing power. A small thing can also change our life. A small incident like dust of snow can change the mood from depression to happiness. And which we consider a bad omen, it also be a positive.
Okay. And saved some part of a day I had rued. This is a line from this poem. And saved some part of a day I had rued. Explain it. Sahid Jamal.
It means that when the snow fall on him, then before that he is already depressed and bad mood. So when the snow fall on him, the mood of the poet is changed into happiness, and he enjoyed the rest of the day.
Pratibha.
When the snow fell on him, then he realized that he ruined the half day when he was sad.
Fatima.
Earlier, the poet was in a depressed mood and very hopeless. But after the incident of the crow that shook off dust of snow on him, his mood was changed, and then he thought that this happened good. If it would not be happened, then his whole day would be ruined and go in depression.
Okay. Right answer. So next question is, what difference do you find between Robert Frost and other nature poets? बहुत सारे नेचर पोएट हुए हैं जैसे विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ, टी.एस. एलियट, John Keats. So there is a basic difference between Robert Frost and other nature poet. You have to answer that question. Sadiq Jamal.
The main difference between the Robert Frost and other poets is that in the poem of Robert Frost, he takes such things which is considered as bringers of bad. Like in this poem, he take crow and a hemlock tree, which signify the sorrow. But the other poet takes in the place of crow, they takes like a beautiful bird like peacock cuckoo and other. And in the place of hemlock tree, they take like oak tree or etc.
Ritika,
We can say that the other poets choose some trees and birds to show the nature, like they choose peacock, parrot, and beautiful birds to show the nature. And trees like pine tree, oak tree, they choose to show the nature and make their poem more beautiful. But Robert Frost is just opposite. He chooses some plants, some trees and birds like crow and hemlock tree to break the bad and blind fate, that is wrong fate of person, that crow and hemlock tree is a bad omen for sorrow. He want to break this fate and so that it is also a part of nature and they also give a positive impact in our life.
okay, perfect answer. The poem Dust of Snow. Yes, proceed.
Other poets like William Wordsworth describe only the beauty of the nature, beautiful things of the nature. But here Robert Frost thinks that everything in nature is beautiful. This makes him different from others.
Yes. Robert Frost want to break the superstitions of our society that hemlock tree or crow is bad for our society, or it is called bad omen. He wants to re-establish a new thought. He wants to change the older thoughts of our society that this may be good, that may be bad. He wants to break that superstition and he says that everything that God has made is good for us. There is nothing good or bad in nature. And so he uses the super healing power. Okay, that is the right answer. So, अगले क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं. The poem Dust of Snow shows that human judgment can be misleading. क्वेश्चन अच्छा है, फिर से सुनिए. The poem Dust of Snow shows that human judgment can be misleading. How? You have to tell how. Human judgment हमेशा सही नहीं होते, कभी गलत भी हो सकते. Shaurya.
In human judgment is not always true, because in the story we have seen that the crow and hemlock tree were the sign of bad omens, but these are the responsible for the mood change of poet, and this helped the poet to utilize the remaining part of the day. So that's why we can say that the human judgment is not always correct, because in this story hemlock tree and crow helped the poet to restore the day.
Sohail, human judgment can be misleading. It is not always correct.
Same thing, sir.
Same answer. Anyone? Sai Jamal.
It shows that Robert Frost take the negative sign and bad omens of like the hemlock tree and the crows, but normally the other poet always take the positive sign of which shows the positivity
What is the quality of hemlock tree? Why he uses hemlock tree only? What is the quality of hemlock tree?
hemlock tree is a sign of bad omens and
No. What is the a special thing in hemlock tree?
it has pines.
Ritika.
Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree which has white flowers.
Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree which if you can touch or if you can eat that, you can even die. You can even die. So that was I was asking for. Okay. What are the possible themes of this?
The two main themes of the poem is every aspect of the nature is beautiful, and negativity can also bring a positive energy.
Ritika,
The possible themes of the poem is nature has super healing power, and a small thing that is happened can also change our life. The negative omen we see like a hemlock tree and crow can also change our life, and they can also give positive impact on our life.
okay. Comment on the use of symbol in this poem. What is the purpose to use those symbols? In this poem, some symbol has been used, some example has been used, or you have to mention that. Shaurya.
In this poem, crow and the hemlock tree is used as a symbol of bad omens. Similarly, crow is symbol of bad omen, and the hemlock tree is the poisonous tree. And the poet is used these two things for the symbol because he wanted to make false the statement that judgment of the human is always correct. That's why he used this symbol in this story.
Pratibha.
In this poem, poet can use other things which are positivity, but poet use hemlock tree and crow, which is bad omen in our society. Here, poet want to tell that all human judgment is wrong also, because in this poem, due to crow and a hemlock tree, poet's mood is changed. When poet was going, then a crow was sitting on a hemlock tree, and due to his some activities, the snow fall on the poet, and due to that, the poet mood is changed.
Okay. अगले पोएम की तरफ चलते हैं, that is fire and ice. So you have to answer from here. There are many ideas about how the world will end. Do you think the world will end someday? Have you ever thought what would happen if the sun gets so hot that it bursts or grows colder and colder? There are many ideas. Ritika.
Yes, we can say the world would end one day. If the sun gets hotter and hotter, then it is not possible to survive in that condition, and everything is melt and get hot, melt and get as ashes. So we cannot survive in that condition, and we are facing some problem like global warming, that type of problem. And if the temperature get decreased colder and colder, in that temperature we can also not survive. Everything is get freeze, so we cannot survive in that condition also.
Okay. Right answer. For frost, what do fire and ice stand for? Sai jawab. For frost, what do fire and ice stand for? Okay, answer.
Ice means hatred and indifference, and fire means desire, cruelty. And poet thinks that the world will end with fire because the world will end with fire because it will quick end of the world. But with ice, there is ice age come in the world, and slowly the world will get in closer to it.
Anyone who would like to answer? Fatima.
The poet thinks that both ice and fire is as much powerful to end the world.
Okay. What is the rhyme scheme of the poem? how does it help in bringing out the contrasting ideas in the poem? What is the rhyme scheme? Sohail?
The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, A, A, B, C and B, C, B.
Once again.
A, B, A, A, B, C and B, C, B.
That is correct or not? Ritika?
Yes, that is correct.
The rhyme scheme of the poem is AB, AA, BCB, CB. The next question is, how does it help bringing out in the contrasting ideas in the poem?
In this poem, the contrasting idea is that the one will get end with fire and ice. By the fire, like desire, passion, fury, intolerance, and with the ice, that is rigidity, hardness, indifference, lust, that are in ice. And because of this, the world will get end. If the temperature goes so high and sun is get so much hot, by the fire the world would get in, and by the ice, if the temperature get much lower, the world would get in.
Okay. How has the frost brought out the contrasting ideas in the poem? You have to describe that ideas. Okay. Prince?
Frost given in this poem two ideas, desire and hatred, in the form of fire and ice. Poet say that first desire can destroy the world, and both are equally can destroy. If we can see an example of desire, Mughal Empire and British government, if they don't desire to come on India, then India was a great country today as much today. And hatred for Nazi don't hate Jews, then crores, millions of Jews are live on the earth.
There is another example also, that is ice.
Ice means hatred,
Ice means hatred.
and a hatred example of Nazi.
Okay. Write down the two different views about the end of the world and what do they stand for. Two different examples. Sahid Jamal.
He said that when the core of the earth will destroyed, then the ice age will come, and slowly the earth will destroy, the world will destroy, and when we take the fire as desire and intolerance, then it will destroy the world quickly. That's why the poet support that the world will end with fire.
Okay, anyone else? How does Robert Frost caution the common man? How does Robert Frost caution the common man? जनरल लोगों के लिए रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की क्या सलाह है, क्या चेतावनी? फातिमा.
Robert Frost has advised other people to live with fraternity and live with and do not hate themselves or conflict with themselves and live with love.
Okay. Why does the poet side with those who favor fire? Sahid Jamal.
Because the poet says that fire will end the world quickly, but when we take ice, then ice age will come and slowly that it will spread over the world and then it will destroy.
Pratibha.
Poet is personally with those people who support fire because poets think that the world will end with desire. Here, fire and ice is used for emotions, not real fire and ice. Poet think that ice means hatred. Hatred take time to spread in all over the world. But as poets experience that poet is experienced that desire is rising in too much speed that the world will end with desire.
What is the desire?
Desire means the rising of demand of the people that if a people has cycle then they want bike, if they have bike then they want cars.
Okay. Write the message that of the poem Fire and Ice gives. Write the message or speak the message of the poem Fire and Ice. So help.
The message of fire and ice gives that the one day the end of world is by the fire and ice means hatred or desire.
Yes, the poet want to say that this is fixed. Okay, Ritika, tell.
That is fixed that the world would get in by fire and ice, desire or by hatred. So we should be not live with hatred and desire. We should be live with unity and fraternity to save the world.
Okay. Briefly write about the ideas about how the world will end. How the world will end, you have to write that. You just speak that. Fatima.
There is no exact answer how the world will end. It will depend on the situation as no one knows what will be in the future. But some people believe that it will end in fire because of the strong desire, cruelty, fury, conflict between the people. While others some think that the world will end in ice, which stands for intolerance, indifference, rigidity, etc.
To say that destruction, ice is also great for the poet. What does the ice stand for? How is it sufficient to bring destruction? Listen once again. Destruction, for destruction, ice is also great for the poet. What does ice stand for? How is it sufficient to bring destruction? Ritika.
Ice stands for lust, intolerance, indifference, hatred, rigidity. And with the ice, it is also sufficient to get the end of this world by hatred. Poet also said that by the hatred, the world would get soon end. By the hatred, lust, intolerance, indifference, it all the factors that can end the world as soon as possible.
What would happen if every man would hate to another man?
If every man hate to another man, then they kill each other and nobody was able to survive on this earth and the world will get end.
Shaurya, would you like to say anything?
Yes, sir. If everyone hate everyone, then we can say that in past the Holocaust movement will be again repeated in our history. Then all people start to kill different religious and different caste people for their hate.
For our head, we will try to cater our notions, and in that anger, in that desire, in that hatred, the time will come that we will kill another, and in this way, the world will end, and that is the situation, that is the real situation that poet want to confront. He is also trying to say the same thing, that hate will increase so high in the world that every man will hate another, and the situation will come that we will fight among ourselves, we will fight each other, and in that way the world will end. Okay? The poem Fire and Ice carried with the very deep thematic ideas. Elaborate on these darkest traits of humanities. The poem also deals with some darkest side of humanity. There is not everything bright among us. So you have to mention that. Ritika?
Like in today's world, there is so much hatred increase, and for desire and for the passion, everybody want to leave other person and get success alone. Our world is in darkest, humanity is in darkest. The world would get end with the hatred. We hate each other nowadays, and for our desire and passion, we leave other people and does not think about others and only thinks about us and selfishness. So the world would get end soon.
Fatima?
In nowadays, the darkest point of humanity, darkest side of humanity that the poet is asking, that is, in nowadays the hatred among the people has been increased very much. People are jealous of each other. There has been many conflict between the peoples. Peoples have the feeling of intolerance. They have the emotions of angry, and they do not want to live with love and peace.
Okay. How would you describe the speaker's world view? Is it pessimistic, निराशाजनक है, realistic, वास्तविक है, or just indifferent? क्या इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है?
The demand of people is getting increased, means they are becoming greedy people, and that's why the world will end, the end of world is getting closer.
Ritika, what do you think?
Sir, the three options are.
Do you think the poet described the world view that is pessimistic, realistic, or just indifferent?
Pessimistic means.
Pessimistic, निराशाजनक.
I think the poem refers to pessimistic for us, because that is the truth, and we have to do over it some plans. We does not have to hatred to each other, and we have to live with unity to save our world. And the truth of that is hatred is pessimistic for us, that world would get end one day.